Hello and welcome to Business Today Television. I'm Siddharth Zarabi, and with me here at the BT studio at Goafest is Vipul Prakash, the Chief Operating Officer of MakeMyTrip, India's largest travel agency, and actually a little more than that as well. Vipul, welcome. Achhe din are back for the travel sector. What is happening in this space?
No, I think you're right. Good days. People are traveling. See, everybody wants to travel. They were forced not to travel. So we are seeing that domestic travel is actually back to much higher than pre-COVID days. International travel is also picking up significantly. And I think, very soon we'll catch up to pre-COVID levels. So yes, overall, I think, good times for the travel industry.
Good times are back for the travel industry. What is holding back international travel? Is it something to do with high airfares, capacity, or some other factor?
So there is a multiplicity of factors. One is very, as you rightly said, airfares are higher, and it's becoming a dent to many consumers' pockets. In some countries, I think the delays in visas is another big thing. So if you want to go to Europe, let's say, you're not even sure you'll get a visa in 1 month. So, and Indians by definition are people who travel at the, plan at the last moment to just go. So that has been a bit of a bummer.
Okay.
In some small cases, I think the devaluation of the rupee against the dollar has also meant that people have to fork out more money there for hotels and all. So I think all of these, have come up. And don't forget that, during the COVID time, I think the amount of confusion going on in, what are the policies and restrictions with every country being different, I think that created a barrier. All that is now fortunately over. Everything is seamless. I think just as everybody, many countries get their visa act together, and as fares start to either stabilize or consumers getting used to the new levels of fares, we are expecting, that pretty much maybe in this summer or maybe in the third quarter, international travel will be back in its full flow.
Within this, are there any countries, destinations which are doing really well, much better than before, perhaps because they are like the new in thing, and they have their visa act in place?
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, right now it's very clear. If you have a direct flight within about 6 hours, 7 hours, and you have a visa either on arrival or no visa, those are the countries which are rocking. So, for example, the new stars are Vietnam. Thailand has always done very well. Middle East has been having an extended run. Turkey is the one which has entered that, thing. So it's very clear.
All direct,
all
non-stop.
direct flights, no visa, or a visa on arrival. If you have these two things, then they're, hitting the ball out of the park. The ones which are not there are the ones who are seeing a bit of a struggle.
Okay. On a related point, Air India, the new Air India, one of its strategic plans, which will pan out over the next few years, won't happen overnight, is direct point-to-point connectivity serving the diaspora. Or how significant will that be as far as international travel is concerned?
Very significant. Very significant. See, today if you really see, for all the travelers who go out of India, they go to many Middle Eastern hubs, European hubs. While people would love to take a direct flight and, with all the Indian hospitality and with Air India brand, being as strong and they having all the slots, etc. at the airports, I believe that for international travel out of India, just as the low-cost airlines 4 years ago, where when you want to go to Dubai or Thailand, instead of 4 flights a day, suddenly you had 20 flights a day. And that was a game changer in terms of traffic. Air India or whoever opening up more direct routes will be a very major milestone as far as, Indians going abroad is concerned.
And with all of that new capacity being added and the competitors, the market leader Indigo will also react. It already has a strong pipeline. What do you think will happen to overall travel and the numbers and therefore the size of the industry 5 years down the line?
I mean, again, very, very difficult to give the numbers. But suffice it to say that, at least for international travel, before COVID, there were about 22 million Indians used to go, every year. I can say 5 years, this number can double.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. 5 years, this number can double, and that means a lot for the traveling Indian all over the world. And Vipul said there are countries which perhaps need to be more welcoming of a decent spending Indian into their country. About domestic travel, if rising airfares, the exchange rate and some amount of visa difficulties have played a factor, have high airfares, why have they not impacted domestic travel?
Because see, there are two things. See, people have to travel. People want to travel, both whether it is for corporate need or whether it is for leisure. So we are not taking leisure. Travel doesn't go down. It will only go
No,
up.
I thought a lot of people said revenge travel and it's going to go down. Peak of revenge travel is behind us last year. We are right now in the middle of the summer season.
You are so right. That's what people thought. But let me tell you, whenever somebody asks me this question, there are some short-term effect COVID had. Things like revenge travel and all. You're absolutely right. But there are some long-term consumer shifts which are happened. And one of them I like to just summarize with the Hindi movie title, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. That's a long-term consumer effect.
Okay.
People are moving money from goods to services to experiences. That's a long-term thing. They want to enjoy life because they don't know what will happen tomorrow. And therefore, this travel is here to stay. It's no longer revenge travel. People who have, let me put it this way, people who travel because of revenge suddenly found how liberating it is. And therefore have now made it a habit. And that's what we are seeing. So it's no longer about that one big holiday a year. It is like a weekend, every small holiday, every 6 months, every 2 months.
Mauke pe chauka.
Yeah, bilkul ho raha hai. Every long weekend.
Yeah.
You can see 3 weeks before the long weekend, things start filling up. Hotels start filling up. Every time. अब आप देख लेना आगे जो भी आएगा, even when it comes to, let's say, Independence Day weekend or before then, any weekend, you find 3 weeks before that, people have started making their plans.
Viewers, advice from India's travel man: book ahead, plan in advance, because even that short weekend where you thought, okay, Friday, I'll decide on Wednesday, not going to happen. He wants you to do it maybe 6 weeks in advance.
And we have made it easy for you. Now we have introduced that for all the hotels in India. You can make your booking now without giving in a single rupee. So if you change your plans,
But if I change my air plans, I get penalized. I mean, you knock the bottom out of it.
See, we have to depend on our partners. Our hotelier partners are far more forthcoming in this, where they are basically saying that we want to get the right customers, and therefore let us not try to penalize the customer.
But what about the airlines?
So things will change. Things will change.
How? Regulation?
No, I am a big believer in free market. The hoteliers are not doing it because of any regulation. They are doing it because it makes more sense.
Okay.
Because they are finding more customers are booking them, and slowly the cancellation rates go down.
But in this case, the aviation industry, and I'm sorry to say, this is almost like a cartel.
I would refrain from commenting on that.
I understand that they are your partners. So, but okay, I have taken the creative liberty of saying that. What are the most preferred destinations in India currently?
So right now, I think where we are seeing Kashmir is one of them in this season at least. Leh and Ladakh has seen a massive revival right now. So these are the two which always were big. The ones which we are seeing going up.
Can you share any numbers or top of mind?
No, but see, I can tell you about 40% more customers are going to these things compared to pre-COVID. So 40 to 50%. I don't remember the exact numbers also, to be honest.
I understand.
In terms of the new gems, I think Northeast is slowly picking up.
Oh wow, that's very good.
It's very good news, and as they are planning for new airports in Manipur, new better infrastructure. Because Northeast, what is holding us back is just the infrastructure. Otherwise people want to go there. Uttarakhand continues to do very well, as you might imagine. In this weather. So I think
the pilgrim circuit.
And just as Delhi becomes hotter, the north becomes hotter, the plains become hotter. We find normally that this is the one which happens here. Then obviously, in winter it becomes the other way around, where Goa becomes very good, Rajasthan becomes very large. So I think most of them are the usual suspects. But I think if there was one state where we have seen a continuous regular increase, it's actually Kashmir.
Okay, that's very good post Article 370. But this is not a travel industry symposium where I have managed to catch Vipul Prakash. This is AdFest, Goafest, and therefore, as I wind down this conversation, I want to come back to the context and the backdrop. So, in this kind of a travel scenario, what does a communicator need to do to get their message across? Even what do states, for example, if Kashmir is such a prime destination, what do other states that can aspire to offer a similar sort of experience to the traveler? What do they need to do in terms of their brand communication?
It's a great question. I think if you look at it, actually the global tourism boards have been doing a very good job of it. Because they, like if you see on our platform, the way we've been working with Dubai, with Yas Island, Saudi, Thailand, Singapore. I think our domestic tourism boards can learn from that. That, our job as a platform is to highlight the speciality of states to people we think are interested in that. So, we know who loves the mountains. So if they've gone to Uttarakhand, it's a great opportunity for Himachal to portray themselves on the platform itself, where we can say, what, it seems you like mountains. Here are the jewels of Himachal. You should. So I personally think you have hit on a great point. If there is one area we need to work more as a collaboration, is with the domestic tourist boards to really promote their itinerary. We anyway do it. For example, we have sections of now called the hidden gems. Where we see that, okay, everybody goes to the big hill stations, but can we say that we will take people to outside those hill stations? Good for environment, good for traffic, good for economy. The local economies there get the growth, etc. So we will then say that, okay, if you are, for example, if you search for any hill station, won't name any, we will show you the hotels there, but we'll also tell you that, if you are willing to drive 20 kilometers, here are the other 20, where you will actually get no rush, nothing. And that's there. And we are finding a great response, because half the time people come to the platform knowing what they want, and they will book and go as a transaction. But many times they are looking to our expertise. Now you can call that AI, you can call that ChatGPT, whatever you want to call that. But the point is, they are looking for advice from us, basis their behavior, where they will say, oh, I didn't know we could go here, and let's book it. And that is what is happening, and that is what we can do.
Thank you for discovering it for me would be the point. My very final question, and I know you have to run this year. Maybe if you can talk about the whole year, or at least for the 2 quarters, what's your company's allocation broadly going to be when it comes to media spends?
See, I have a very firm point of view on this. We do not start with how much we want to spend on what media. We know our marketing objectives. For example, right now, we are focusing more on the non-metros, where we're seeing much more growth right now. We always start with the marketing objectives and what we want to do in the top 30 cities, 40 cities. And then our partners, the agency, decide what is the best way of going about it. Yes, television will continue to be a big thing, but things like digital, more targeted digital in the smaller cities to people who have, let's say, become e-com users, but not e-travel users. We are able to target all that. So digital will play a larger role. But I am never obsessed, and I don't even look at what is the, how much are we spending and how much are we spending. The important thing is, whichever way we are spending, are we doing the objectives for that particular campaign or not? So, it keeps on changing significantly. It could be 70-30. It could be 30-70. So, for example, we, did a very successful homestay campaign this November in Delhi, saying that, when your pollution level gets to this much, you should go to the mountains. Okay. And it was all AI driven, which used to read the daily pollution levels. And when it used to cross a threshold, the campaign used to break. Okay. That was 100% digital, because you can't do it any other way.
But if you were promoting a destination as a partner state, for example, what would you choose?
More digital, I think. Because the point is, there is no point in showing any destination to the whole of the country, to every cohort. We'll see, is this a couple's destination? Is it a family destination? Targeted by definition means more digital.
Slice and dice.
Yes.
Slice and dice. Fantastic points, Vipul, and I got to know a new thing. Several things, but one of the most important points: how AI reads Delhi pollution levels and recommends travel to the mountains for cleaner, fresher air. And like he said, the other big headline: my home state, the place where I was born, Kashmir, being one of the most favorite destinations. Vipul, thank you very
so
much.
Pleasure.
Thank you. I really enjoyed that. With that, it's a wrap on this conversation. Many thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.